We'll do it in a minute if you haven't. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Friday's session. It's a little bit of Pilates, a little bit of rollers, a little bit of stretching today. So we've got some aches and pains, some tightness going on in our class. So we're going to work with those and try to get stretched out. So first of all, take your feet slightly wider than your rollers and turn your toes out a little bit. And we're just going to come into a little sway. So warming up the hips, pointing through the toes to get your feet mobile, your ankles mobile. And just breathe. So relax through your shoulders. We hold a lot of tightness through our shoulders and we need to relax them. Lovely. And just keep going. So feel grounded by your feet. Feel those feet flat on the floor and then lifting that heel. How do your feet feel? So I'm on a lovely cold lino. You might be on carpet. Feel the pressure through the heel, through the balls of the feet. Spread those toes out and just notice. So this isn't difficult, but it's good to just start to mobilize. And then we're going to hold it in the center. We're going to bend through the knees and we're just going to circle the hips one way. And then we're going to go the other direction. So just quite small to start with. And we're bending our knees so that we can actually get that mobility through the hips. Okay, we're going to go in the other direction. So make it bigger this time. Really stick your bum out. Stick your hips out, forwards. And for those of you with tight hip flexors, as you come forwards, or into the back of your hips, you might well feel this. So work with it. Take your time. Take your time. Slowly. Almost like you've got a pestle and mortar there in that hip joint. So you're really working through it, through those motions, through that movement, through the whole of the hip joint, reverse direction again. So look after yourself here. Smooth flowing movements. Okay, then we're just going to rock side to side. So we're going to lift the hip up and then lift the hip up the other side. Lift and swing, almost like a little swing in the breeze. Lift and you're tightening up through the waist, tightening up the other side. Lovely. And then we're going to come into our lovely pelvic tilt. So holding on to the roller. So into neutral and then soften through the knees again and then come into those pelvic tilts. Lifting and rolling through, tucking under and just working through that movement. So almost it is like that. If you were lying down, it would be a bridge here. So I'm just working through all of those points of the pelvis. Lovely. Just using the roller to support you. Good. Lovely. When you're lifting that pelvis up and under, squeeze the bottom here. So squeeze and then release. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you might feel a little bit more tightness through the fronts of the hips or a bigger stretch. Keep your breathing going. Tuck, tuck. And squeeze, and last one, tuck and squeeze. Okay, just come through to that circle again, just to release the lower back, the fronts of the hips. Okay, so a little bit of a stretch through the legs. So we're going to hold the roller, we're going to take our weight onto one leg and we're just going to slide the other leg off, bring it back into neutral, take the weight onto the other leg, slide the other one. Now, my weight is through that leg. My hip is facing forward, okay? So we're staying facing forward. We're not allowing the body to turn, which means that you get a tighter squeeze in the glutes, you get a bigger stretch in the front of the hips, and just swapping sides, squeezing that foot backwards, lifting. You might feel that again into the lower back. So it's a squeeze and a lift. That's not my bum there, that's my microphone pack, okay? Honest. Lift and a squeeze. lift and a squeeze. Okay, so now we're going to just change it. We're going to lift the knee, roll into that knee, drop it down. So take your time here, lift, curl. So almost like a little standing crunch. Rise, lift the knee, whoop. Little bit of balance too. You might be wobbly, spread those toes out on the floor. Use your breath. Try not to hold your breath. Okay, take your feet nice and wide. Back to that sway. This time, take your roller with you. So we're using the roller, same side. Swing those arms, start to allow the hands to come round to the side. So it's like a whole body twist. Lovely. Good. Fabulous. And then we're going to reset. So staying with the legs, we're going to soften the knees, and this time we're going to take one leg out to the side. Staying with one side, just lift and lower. Now, some of us can go quite high, but you don't have to. It's just that lift, feel it into the side of the hip, all those muscles that run up the side of the leg, into the glutes. And it's a lovely controlled movement. So point the toes, slide it back down, and tap that foot back onto the floor. And you can reset. So you can see that I'm using my roller to just support me. Do what you can. Pointing the toe, coming back down. And then we're going to change sides. So start small. And one side might feel better than the other, or a bit tighter, less mobile. So just work with it. And then if you can just start to make a slightly bigger lift, you can, you don't have to. Lovely, keep it going. Excellent. And just a couple more. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to take hold of our rollers. Okay, and we're going to just swing and hold, swing and hold, swing and hold. And then just start to, as you hold here, I want you to push with that bottom arm, so you're getting a lift. So have a look at my armpit. Ooh, there. So I'm pushing, lifting. Other side, push and lift. That's it. So you're getting a lovely stretch through the ribs, through the side seams, into the waist. A little bit of a tightness through the shoulder, but it's all good. Fabulous. That's it. And then we're just going to swing side to side. Da, da, da. Lovely. Get those shoulders nice and mobile. Keep it smooth. That feels quite nice, doesn't it? Really waking up those shoulders, the chest up, the shoulder blades. Creating a little breeze. Lovely. Okay, hold it here. Into our protraction, retraction. So shoulders are, so your roller's at shoulder height, no higher. You can drop it down, but shoulder height is best. So just fingertips on the end, pulling those shoulder blades back with a squeeze, and then pushing those hands away, feeling a stretch across, push, 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 and then a squeeze back. So your hands have to stay wide. As you push away, really sense that feeling. So hold it forwards. Sense that feeling of the stretch, the lengthening across the shoulder blades, and then pull back and feel that tightness, that squeeze into the shoulder blades. Push away. I want you to really notice. So you're almost rounding your shoulders, but pushing away. And then squeezing back, back, back. Take some time here. Don't rush it. It's so good for your shoulders. We get so tight, and it really affects your posture when your shoulders are tight and we have imbalances. And if we can get rid of these imbalances, our postures improve dramatically. Okay, let's drop that. Roll through the shoulders. Roll through a couple of times. So, lovely big rolls. Okay, this time we're going to hold the roller up. You're going to push away. This time you're going to pull your chin away. So you're going to pull back the chin, lengthening the neck. So it's a back of neck stretch and release. And just keep with it. So try and soften through the knees, tuck your bottom under, pull the chin back and release. So think about where you can feel it. Can you feel it in your shoulders? Can you feel it in your neck? Can you feel it down the back of your neck? So really great for that neck stretch. And then drop that roller. Pop the roller on the floor. Little bit of an arm dangle here. So we're going to walk the bottom away, walk the feet away, and then drop the armpits. Drop the head so the ears are touching the arms. And then try to drop the chest. Feet are a bit wider than hips. Soften through the knees. So it's quite easy here to just hyperextend through the knees, but we don't want you to do that. We're working through the arms here, the chest, the torso. So keeping that lovely long spine, neutral spine. And then we're going to take one hand on and drop the other hand. Now let it go. Let that arm go. And mine almost feels like it's going to pop out of its joint because it's so heavy and relaxed. And I've got lax ligaments. So then we start to just let it, allow it to just circle, dangle. It's not really doing too much with it, just allowing it to hang. It's really great for drainage, lymph drainage here. Lengthening, stretching through the shoulders. And then we're going to let that arm swing side to side. Let it be heavy. Take all that tension out of the arm. And you can use your body to help it to swing. And then we're going to change sides. So take the other hand up, drop the other hand, and just let it dangle. Let it do what it wants to naturally do. And you might find it just goes in a little shape of its own. And that's fine. It might just go in a little circle, and that's fine. Most important thing is let it go. Let that shoulder go. And then we use the body to just let it swing side to side. Or just dangle. Lovely. Okay, we're going to make our way up now. A couple more in standing and then we'll come down. So we're going to hold it in a neutral position and we're going to soften the knees. And then we're going to keep the hips still and we're going to rotate. So you're sending that arm back. Eye gaze goes with you. So knees and hips are facing the front, keep them there, so soften through the knees. But you can take your eye gaze around slowly. Reset in the centre, soften the knees, hips stay forwards. Lovely, and keep going. Good. Lovely. Excellent. And then we're going to pop that roller on the floor. Then we're going to come into, now I haven't done this for a long time, a lovely little wide squat. So if you can't get down, it's fine. We start with wide feet. It's really important because we're almost coming into that sumo squat. Okay, which means that you need that hip opening, and if you can get right down, then great. If not, don't worry. So we're going side to side, and then a big push up using the roller to help you up. If you can only do a couple, that's fine. But start by lifting the toes. So the toes lift on one side and then the other. And this, if this is all you can get to today, that's fine. Start by sticking the bottom backwards, and you might need to bring those feet in as you get down. See how you go. I'm just moving my roller so I can see you, so you can see me. So wide feet, side to side, lovely hip openers, and then a big push up. Now this might make you hot and out of breath. It might push your blood pressure up, so hopefully you won't feel dizzy. Let's go one more time and then we'll come down. We'll start to roll down. So give it one more go if you can. If not, don't worry. A little bit of a roll, a little bit of a squat down, side to side, and then a big push up. Lovely. And then we're going to pop the roller on the floor in front of you. And we're going to just roll down. So I want you to take your time, and you know how to roll down. But it's taking that tension away from the arms, the shoulders. So head drops first. Hands are away from the thighs. The hands are heavy. Hands are coming towards the roller. As you reach the roller, just roll it out a little way. Weight through the hands. And you come onto your toes or the balls of your feet. Bring the roller back in. Soften the knees. Hands are away from the thighs, rolling back up. At the top, we're going to take the hands up, soften the knees, send the hands behind you if you can, squeeze the bottom, and then roll back down. So really take your time, especially with your hands overhead. I want you to really take your time there and enjoy that stretch. Hands come down and we roll away. Coming onto the balls of the feet, spreading those toes out on the floor, working through the joints of the toes. That's it, hands up, soften, squeeze the bottom to protect your back. And we'll go one more time. And stay down this time. Come onto your knees. And we're going to go straight onto our backs. So we are going to lie on the roller. I'll go side on. We're going to lie on the roller long ways. I love this bit. I haven't done it for so long. So grab a drink if you need to quickly. That's it. So you need to make sure your head is supported on the roller. And your feet go really wide. And just settle. And we've worked through the shoulders, so hopefully the shoulders don't feel too uncomfortable on the roller. Just pop your hands on the floor, feet are wide, and feel supported. So feel your shoulder blades squeezing the edges. They aren't really edges, are they? But you know what I mean. And just relax. So your forearms are on the floor. If you can, your palms are down on the floor. And then I just want you to start to make little side to side movements. And you kind of need to give it a push. You need to take your weight from one leg to the other. Just getting used to that feeling of your spine, your shoulder blades being on the roller. It's so lovely. It's like that. Some of you say it's pleasure pain. It's pleasure. It's so good for us. When we spend so long sitting in a chair, on a laptop, reading, sewing, whatever you're doing, it's all forward, flexing. It's all crunching. And this just stretches out the front of your body. Okay, so hands are going to stay wide. We're going to send the feet out to the edges of your mat. And just hold them there. So this is great for those hip flexor stretches. It might be too much. If it's too much, just take your heels in a little bit and gradually maybe take one leg down at a time. And just work with that stretch. So not really doing anything much here, just maybe taking your weight side to side a little bit. Supported by your hands. We're just stretching off through the hip flexors. Okay, we're going to pop both feet flat on the floor. And we're going to pop our hands overhead. So fingertips onto the floor if you can get them there. If not, keep them to the side. How does that feel? Do you feel imbalanced, unbalanced? So we're just going to squeeze the bottom. So into a glute squeeze. Start lifting, just lifting slightly the hips off into a small pelvic tilt. So it's a glute squeeze really, followed by a little lift. Use your breath. So keep those knees wide as you squeeze and lift. And squeeze and lift. Lovely. And then bring those hands back into that neutral position. This time we're going to take the hands wider. And we're going to lift one leg into half tabletop. The other leg's going to come into tabletop. So we're in a full tabletop. We're going to start by tapping the foot down alternately. So we'll keep the 90 degrees in the knee. We tap one foot down and then we lift and tap the other foot down. Keep that tension into the core. So really pull the spine towards the roller. Okay, tapping, lifting, tapping, and you'll be wobbly. That's fine. Tapping and lifting, tapping and lifting. Continuing this, but slight change. We're going to tap to the outside edge of your mat. Bring the leg back in. Ooh, does that make you more wobbly? Are you putting more pressure through your hands? Are you needing to use more tension through the core to keep you steady? Gentle taps. Lovely. Hold it there in tabletop. This time we're going across the body into the other direction. So we're tapping down and in. So down and in. So putting that foot into the space where the other foot would go down if it was to drop down. So a cross body tap onto the floor, lift. Cross body tap onto the floor, lift. That's quite hard. And remembering that your feet are going slightly further than if you were doing this on the floor, so you will feel a stretch. Okay, pop your feet down, lift your bottom off the roller. Big fat squeeze and a stretch. Okay, take your feet away, slide them away. Can you come into a full body stretch? So arms overhead, toes away. Take a deep breath and a long breath out. Relax. Relax, relax. Relax those hips. You might want to take your feet a little bit wider. That might make you feel steadier. And just want to stretch out those hip flexors before we come into the next move. And this is an old move. And we were really good at this. Let's see how we get on. So, and if you need to practice this at home, if you need to stretch at home, come into that full body stretch. Okay, so feet come in, hands join at the top. Clasp your hands together. Feet are wide, and we're going to take our weight from one side and we drop the hands to the center. Ooh. And then we drop to the other side. I've got a mic in the way. So we're dropping hands from side to side. You keep going, I'm stuck on my mic. So a whole body movement. Move your body on the roller so you come onto the shoulder, onto the side of your shoulder, the side of your hip. Your eye gaze is towards the skirting board. We roll onto the back, hands come up, and we roll to the other side. I'm going to strangle myself. You keep going. Okay. That's it. I love this one. So you kind of get a little bit of myofascial release through the shoulders, the back of the hips, all of those muscles that we're working through. That's it, keep going. Can you keep going? Lovely. It's a big movement. You might feel a bit sore tomorrow. Hopefully not, because it's like a deep tissue massage. Okay, hold it there. Keep your feet nice and wide. We're going to pop the hands on opposite shoulders. We're going to bring our feet, walk your feet in so your feet are almost touching. Elbows are up to the ceiling and just hold. Okay, so we're going to lift the heels one at a time. Lift one heel and put it down, lift the other. Lift, so you're walking with your feet. You might be unsteady, you might be okay. We're going to walk the feet back towards you a bit more. So feet come together, or almost together, and start by lifting one heel and then the other. Just a little walk. And then we're going to walk those feet away. So they're quite far away. And then this time I want you to lift your toes, one at a time. Your feet, not one toe at a time. And then can you lift the heels so you're really on the toes? Lovely. Pop your hands down, come into tabletop and just hold. Hands are wide. We're going to tap one hand onto the opposite shoulder. So slowly tap, pop it back down. Tap the other hand onto the other shoulder, tap back down. Try and keep your centre, keep your body in the centre of the roller. So there's hardly any movement, only through the arms. Are you wobbly? Or are you doing well? Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Whoop. And then pop your feet down. Hands wide. Bring those feet, those knees into your chest. Obviously you can't hug them, but just bring them into your chest or towards your chest. Just breathe. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to keep our hands nice and wide. We're going to come into a single leg stretch. So we're going to bend one knee up towards the chest and the other leg points away. So push, pull. That's it. The higher your feet are, the easier or the less uncomfortable it might be, especially on your back. So see how you feel. You can always adapt it. Try lowering your feet and then lifting. So different heights. Try not to place too much tension through your fingers. They're just supporting you, stopping you from wobbling off. Okay, let's add some speed. Speed, speed, speed it up. Lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And drop those feet down. Well done. Have a little rest. How are you feeling? I'm going to dismount. So gracefully dismount, as we say, if you can. Are we okay? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Oh, are you warm after that? Oh, you're okay. Okay, so we're going to pop the roller, I keep having to remember what it's called, under the shoulders. Okay, okay. So ladies, you might need to log in again in a minute, but see how we go, see what happens. So, and Helen always says, like you're on the beach. I'll keep going. Grab a drink of water if you need to. I'll just grab a quick drink. Thank you. Yep, they're coming back in. So just a little pause there. Lovely. So we're resting our shoulders, shoulder blades, onto the rollers. And we're just going to bring our feet in towards our bottoms. Lift your bottom, so all your body weight is through your feet and your shoulders. You might want to just support your head. And we're literally going to roll to the top of the shoulder blades to the bottom. Now, if you go too far, you kind of hit that space around the kidneys, and that's not that comfortable. I don't like it at all, so it kind of takes your breath away. So elbows are wide, and that means that we're massaging, releasing tension through the edges, through the superficial layers of the muscles around the back of the shoulder blades into the shoulders. And hopefully that feels quite nice. Hopefully. Okay, what if we lift the elbows up to the ceiling? So you can still support your head, but the elbows are lifted. So you might feel that now on the inner edges of your shoulder blades. Those areas that are a bit bony, and that's fine. Keep going. Just slowly, in your own time. And then what if we were to cross our arms, holding the elbows? Slightly different. Excellent. So myofascial release here, releasing all those tight bits around the body. And then just pop your bottom down. Let the roller come under the neck so it supports the head. This is a nice bit. And we just drop the arms down, and then we're going to just take the head from one side, hold it to one side, and just rock and roll just a little bit. Just move that head so you should feel it in the back of the skull, the occipital bone there. So it's like a knobbly bit at the back of the skull. And then we're going to come back to the centre and just hold the head there, just maybe side to side, just a small movement, and then bring the head to the other side, again onto that knobbly bit. And just let the head relax, let it go. Let the roller take the weight of the head. And you know, if we get headaches or tension headaches, it can come from the neck. So just take your time, always come back to centre, reset, and just go side to side in the centre. So you're in between the knobbly bits almost, and then go to one side again. And just work through that movement. You might want to just lift the chin, make a circle to one side, and make sure you go in the opposite direction. So a little bit of self-care here. through the head. Again in the centre, just side to side, up and down, and then to the other side in a circle, and then the other way. Lovely. And we'll come back to this when we do relaxation. So for now, we're going to take that roller out, and one of my favourite bits, I can't say that it will be your favourite bit, so we're going to pop the roller under the feet, and you know what's coming, don't you? So apologies for hamstrings here. So feet are on the roller, and we're just going to start with the pelvic tilt. So lifting the pelvis just ever so slightly, lifting and lowering, just in your own time. Now with the roller, we find that there's a big clunky bit because it kind of forces your back up, your spine up, without that that control that we can do without the roller. So we're going to start lifting a little bit higher. So lift up and lower down. Lift up, lower down. I want you to keep going. I've got something sticking in my back, so you keep going. Oh, look, we've got dog Pilates. So lift and lower, lovely. So how does it feel? Does it feel okay? You're probably able to get right up onto your shoulder blades. That's it. Lovely, Chris. How are your hamstrings? Good. Fabulous. Keep going. I want you to hold at the top this time. Hold at the top and give me 8 pulses. When you're done, come back down. No cheating. And go again. So 8 pulses at the top. And roll back down. Okay, this time you're going to take your feet away 2 inches and you're going to go again. So lift up. At the top, we pulse for 8. And roll back down. So 2, do it twice. Lift, squeeze the bottom so your hips are really high. Really push down on the roller. Roll back down. When you've done your 2, we're going to take those feet another 2 inches away. This one's a nasty one, so your feet are quite far away. Roll, lift, up, squeeze, little pulses. Lovely. And lower down, and one more time. That's it. Tiny little pulses. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Excellent. Lovely. And then hug your knees into your chest to release off the back. Excellent. Okay, we're taking the roller back under the bottom, so under the hips now. So just keep the feet on the floor for now. So it's kind of at the top of your, it's called the gluteal crease, your bum crack. It's at the top there, okay? So you can feel the pressure on the back of your hip. Chris, you might not like this. See how you go. Yeah, anybody with hip replacements, you might not like it. So just take it further down if you need to, or just leave, take the roller out for this one. Now, if you have got problems with hip flexors, just take the foot away. Just let one foot extend through one leg. So you've got length through one leg, the other leg is supporting you. Now, depending on your back health, you might be able to send the other leg away so that you're kind of in hyperextension. But this is a lovely stretch into the fronts of the hips, the hip flexors, the psoas muscles. Really big stretch. It might be too much. If it's too much, then bend one leg, bend one knee, and just support yourself with the other leg. But just holding here is wonderful. And it is a lovely, lovely stretch. If you can't manage with the roller, then just pop your hands. So if you're lying on the flat floor, take your hands above your head, squeeze the bottom. Okay, so we're going to bend the feet, bend the knees, and we're going to lift the knees, feet, legs off the floor. So we're in a tabletop again, but we're supported. Our hips, bottom are supported by the roller. And here we again start to tap down one foot. Now you've got further to go here, and that's fine. So keep that angle in the knee, try and get 90 at the knee, and tap. So you're stretching through the hip joint, the front of the hips there. Now you might want to just pop your hands on the opposite shoulders. We're not so wobbly here, because we've got the roller across. But if your hands are off, it means that you're using more core work to steady yourself. You can pop your hands up towards the ceiling. Actually, let's do that. So pop your hands up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to add opposite arm to leg. So one leg drops, the other arm goes overhead, and bring it back up to centre. And then we change sides. Lovely. So like a little diagonal stretch. Thumbs are coming towards the floor, palms are facing in. Breathe, pull the belly in. Lovely. Good. Okay. And hold here. So hands are up, tabletop. We're going to take both hands overhead, straighten off those legs, and bring them back to centre. So it's a straighten, lengthen through the legs, arms overhead. Breathe, don't hold your breath. You don't have to drop your legs very low. I just want you to straighten them. Lovely. This time we're going to take the hands overhead, bring the arms around, hands to ankles, and then to neutral. So hands overhead, legs extend, arms around, knees come in, hands to ankles, back to neutral. And we go again. Lovely. Keep going. Start to lift the head if you want to, as you crunch those knees in towards the chest. Fabulous. Couple more. And last one. Lovely. Good. Pop those feet down. Just rest. Take the knees a bit wider. Squeeze the bottom. You might feel that on the backs of the hips. Lovely. And then we're going to slide it out and just have a rest. Oh. Okay. My other favourite foam rolling exercise. It's not really an exercise, it's a massage. The thighs. Yes. Wonderful. But can be quite uncomfortable. But it just goes to show how tight our muscles are, how much we need this. So, it's not very ladylike. Excuse me, I'm having trouble. It's not very ladylike, but hey. So it looks like you're on your elbows. So we start, start with the roller under your hip joints, kind of at the pubic bone. And we're on our elbows, forearms. We're going to squeeze the bottom, take our weight onto the arms, walk the hands away, and we bring our knees to the edges. Well, no, we roll ourselves to the knees. That's how to describe it. We push back along the length of your thighs. So, pushing and pulling. So pull your body weight up and then allow it to go back to the neutral position, starting position. Lifting, rolling. So you might well feel those knots in the muscle. Ouch. It's good for you, honestly. Oh, can you feel it? Oh. And if you haven't done it for a while, then it's even more uncomfortable. And I haven't done it for a while. So, lifting, dropping back. Okay, can you turn your toes in, heels out? So we're massaging different areas of the thighs. Feel that tightness in the muscles as we release. Oh. Okay. Heels in, heels touch, toes out. To reach those muscles on the inside of the thighs. And it might not be too uncomfortable for you here until you get to the knees, but see how you go. And then just work with it, whichever way you want. If it's uncomfortable in one area, that's probably the bit that you need to do most, because that will be the tightest area. How are you doing? Oh, lovely. Okay, I'm going to get you to sit back into child's pose. Push the roller away with your hands. Drop your head to the floor and settle into child's pose. Try and push the bottom down to the floor. Push the roller away so you get length. You might need to wiggle jiggle a little bit. And then as we come into relaxation, you can make yourselves comfy. You can lie on the roller. You can just ditch it if you want to. You can sit on it. So there's that lovely little sit in a lotus position that you've been practicing. But you don't have to. You could lie with it under your head, under your neck. I think that's quite nice. I'm going to sit as I relax you down. And hip walk back. Lovely. So you need to drink lots of water today because your body will want to get rid of toxins that we've released through the muscles. So drink lots. And do what you need to do to look after yourselves. So just settling into a comfortable position, wherever that might be. Closing the eyes to just take away those distractions in the room. And just breathe. Imagine that breath filling the whole of your upper body. Right out to the left shoulder, the right shoulder, down to the corners of the hips. Really expanding through the upper body as you breathe in. And resetting back to normal. Feel that flow of breath through the nose, expanding the body. And the breath out as it leaves the body. Relax the neck, the shoulders. Take tension away from the fingers. Let the belly swell as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, let it fall. Just do what feels natural to you. And then I want you to relax through the bottom, the thighs and the backs of the thighs, behind the knees and the kneecaps, the calves, the ankles and all of the toes. Working around the outside edges of the body, coming back up to the head, the face, relaxing through the forehead, taking away a frown, relaxing through the eyebrows, the eyelids, relaxing through the jaw, the teeth, and the tongue just rests gently on the roof of the mouth. And just hear that noise of your breath in the back of the throat. How does your body feel? Can you relax it a little bit more? Can you let that tension go just a little bit more? Where do you hold that tension? Is it those frown lines or the laughter lines? The smile, the teeth? Sometimes it helps to crunch up your face, your teeth, and then just let it go. And then let it go some more. And focusing back on the breath. That breath in that feeds your body. And the breath out that looks after your body as it gets rid of those toxins and carbon dioxide. Just breathing naturally now. Thinking about the rest of your day, but taking it on in a more restful way, in a more relaxed way, with a positive mindset, with joy and a sense of well-being. And we just start to move the toes. Roll through the wrists. Have a stretch if you need to. Have a yawn if you need to. Open your eyes and then give yourself a little round of applause. Put your hands together into your heart space. Namaste, you lovely people. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Practice, and we'll see you next week.